All right, welcome to the third video in this introductory series to Decentraland. Well, if you haven't watched video number 1 and 2, I would like to mention that these videos are really for someone who is just about to start in Decentraland and who is not experienced with the platform just yet. And if you are someone like that, I think the first 2 videos are also going to be interesting. Please make sure to check those out, but also check out the subsequent videos. Please do subscribe to the channel. I will be posting more Decentraland content going forward, and I would really appreciate if you would hit the like button whenever you feel like content was useful for you. Any constructive comments will be highly welcome. Well, in this video, we are going to cover a couple of things which are a little bit more operational, I would say. So I would like to talk about basic operations inside Decentraland, and one thing that I'm going to show you right off the bat is the Decentraland map. So this is the Decentraland map, and we are currently located right here. And you can actually teleport to different locations inside the map by mouse over a specific land parcel and then actually clicking on jump in. And let's do that right away. It sometimes takes a bit of a moment, but eventually you will teleport to that location as we just did. So this is one way of navigating inside Decentraland. You can of course do the same thing and jump into an area where there are people. Let's say we go to the Genesis Plaza. You can just click onto the map and then click onto the jump in button to relocate. Well, there is also another way of teleporting, and it is through the chat functionality. So here at the bottom left, if I click enter right now, it will open up a chat box, and if I type in /goto space and then any kind of coordinate, like if you see there are coordinates here, if we just type in -67, -140 and I hit enter again, I will actually do the same thing. It's just a manual process of teleporting within Decentraland. So I think this is the very first thing you need to know when you start out in Decentraland. Well, another thing that I need to show you right from the start, well, the thing is, you don't need to have a custom name to jump into Decentraland and experience the platform. The only thing that you will be missing is a good-looking name, but other than that, you will be able to actually experience the world without a name. Here we are just at a random location inside Decentraland. Let me quickly jump back to the initial location where we started shooting that video here. And please note that we do have a place called avatars. So this is the second thing I need to show you. Even though you can experience Decentraland without a name, eventually you will want to register one, and for that you will need 100 mana. In the previous video, I explained to you how you can get Ethereum and how you can swap that Ethereum for mana. But then once you arrive on the Decentraland.org website, if you click on avatars, you will be able to create an avatar, and in that process it will allow you to register a custom name. So at this point, you will need to have your MetaMask account set up so that you can connect to a wallet. I'm not going to go through this process here with you, but you will be able to connect to your wallet and then eventually register an avatar in order to get a name, a custom name. A lot of the names have been already taken, so you may have to, look for alternative names, and eventually you might actually want to buy an existing name on the secondary marketplace, but we will cover that topic in the last video in this particular series. So we are having a bit of a lag here. Let's just reload the page real quick. The next topic that I would like to cover is realms. There are several different realms in Decentraland, and what a realm is, it is actually a parallel universe. We have one universe, one instance, one server on which you can be, and that server is defined at the end of the URL right here. There are a lot of combinations, and the last word is always some sort of color. I'm not sure what the first word exactly represents, but there's a whole selection of these servers that you can access. Now the thing is, if I am located on one server and you are located on another server, we will not be able to see each other. And this is something that is, not very clear when you get started inside Decentraland. So you need to consider that if you are at an event and you do not see your friends who are supposed to be at that event, that may be because you are on a different server. Now, eventually you will learn how to use that. For the most time, for the most part, this is not a problem, but sometimes you will need to use that knowledge to your advantage. Sometimes you need to switch to a less busy server for specific purposes that I will not cover in this video, but I just wanted to have touched on that particular point, because when I started out, I really was frustrated without that particular knowledge. Well, we've covered the teleporting, we've covered the map, we've covered the name registration. Let's talk about an important little detail, is the first person and the third person view. Well, when you just jump into Decentraland for the very first time, you will be able to switch your view with the button V. This is the first person view. This view is very useful when you're working on quests and when you need to interact with items in the world. It's kind of a zoomed in view on things, especially when you need to look up or down from a building. That view can be very useful. And at the same time, this particular view is just more intuitive when you move through the world and when you interact with others and when you look at yourself and when you create videos and stuff like that. So there is different purposes for these two views, but you need to make sure that you are aware that this is the button V on your keyboard. Okay, so we've covered this topic. Let's also at this moment cover the different emotions and the different emoticons that you can have. So the buttons 1 through 6, I believe, all represent a specific emotion. Let's have a look at button number 1. So this is the waving emotion, and we have 2. We have button 3 on the keyboard, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 emotions we can currently use. So this is something that might be useful to you right from the beginning. And I think one last thing that I will mention here is that when you see someone and you would like to interact with someone, at this point in time, you can use the chat. In order to launch the chat, you need to use the enter button, and it will launch a chat box as such. And then by typing on the keyboard and hitting the enter button, it will publish whatever you had to say. Now, you need to know that in December 220, we have just been told that a voice chat has been implemented. My first experiences with it have not been very successful. So I would definitely think that in the near future, we will have a voice chat functionality, which is going to simplify communication inside the game and take Decentraland to the next level. So when you get started in Decentraland, and do not be frustrated by the lack of possibilities to communicate at this point in time. This is being worked on with the highest priority, and it's almost complete. Well, I think this is it for this operational video. I've covered a wide selection of little details. You will figure out a lot of the shortcuts on the keyboard and a lot of the functionalities in World that I have not touched on as you progress in Decentraland. But I just wanted to cover the absolute basics and fundamentals when you jump into the world for the very first time. And hopefully this was useful. Please do subscribe to my channel and hit the like button to make sure this video is seen by a lot of other people trying to figure out Decentraland. We want to get as many good people into this world as possible, as quickly as possible. A like and a constructive comment will definitely help us progress as fast as we would like to. All right, guys, if this was useful, please make sure to check out the other videos in this series. Thank you for your time, and I see you in a couple of seconds when we start talking about other topics for beginners in Decentraland.